What should you do if you no longer want to partake in toxic behaviors? You feel like you're outgrowing them, but the people around you are still doing them. So there's a part 1 and a part 2 to this. Now we're on part 3. We kind of talked about how to open up a conversation with somebody about that, mainly keeping it about yourself, not telling them they have to change, not making them feel like they have to do things differently in their lives, not guilting them or making them feel bad about what they're doing, right? Mainly about you, why you don't like the behavior and why you're going to change that about yourself. Having that conversation too, they might turn around and be like, well, why are you telling me this? Your best bet is to be, I want to be transparent with you. I want to be honest with you, because if you're going to be doing those things, do what you want to do, but I'm not going to partake. And I want to be open and honest about that and set a boundary. Set a boundary. That is the only way they cannot convince you to come back into doing it, okay? Because that might happen too, right? You might have a little bit of pushback. You might get some, no, you should keep doing it, right? Keep in mind, you're you, right? You're not comfortable with something. You're allowed to set a boundary for yourself on, no, I'm not going to partake in this because it makes me uncomfortable. That's a boundary. So if they want to disrespect your boundary and say, no, you should do this, blah, 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 they're not respecting the boundary you're setting. If they want to force you into doing something, right, they're not respecting the boundary you're setting. If you go back on your word and decide you're going to go back to the toxic behavior after setting that boundary, you're breaking your own boundary. So when you set a boundary, you have to set guidelines for yourself. I'm not going to do this. And if so-and-so partakes in this, these are the actions I'm going to take so that I don't do it. That's how you set a boundary for yourself, because at the end of the day, you can only control you, can't control the people around you. So set a boundary in that conversation, because again, if they partake in those things and they expect you to come along, you want to be honest with them about why you're not coming along. You don't want to feel bad in the moments that you're not going to come along, right? So if you set the boundary and then they still guilt you, they're pushing your boundary. They're pushing your buttons. They're trying to get you to do something you don't want to do. So that also kind of helps you determine who's going to respect your boundaries once you set them. Like I said, the point of you being honest is so that you don't have to partake in the toxic behavior anymore. The whole point of this is so that you don't have to do it just because they're all doing it. That's how you can get yourself out of the situation. Now, whether or not you want to stay friends or in a relationship or whoever these people are with these people, that's up to you. That's up to how you determine if they're respecting your boundaries, if they're respecting you, if they're recognizing your self-worth, right? If they're recognizing your healing journey, if they're shaming you for your healing journey. Only you can make really the decisions that are best for you on whether or not those people have access to your life. But keep in mind, the people who make you feel badly for trying to grow and learn and be better in life, those are the people who are not trying to grow and learn. Love you.